Hi everyone, it is March 12th, 2026. It has been 4 days since I posted my last video, and here's an update from Dubai. Day 13, I think. Again, I will not be getting into the politics of this situation. What I will be touching on is our past 4 days, attacks on oil refineries and storage, a new threat to banks and companies, the impact of social media, and artificial intelligence. Okay, for the past 2 days, we have felt a significant decrease in the amount of incoming attacks. I have personally been experiencing about 2 alerts per day, which is much less than before. We're hearing a lot less big booms. There are still booms, but they're quieter, so they're further away. What we are seeing is more damage to residential areas. 2 high rises have been struck. So to put this in perspective for you, I want you to imagine a peaceful penthouse apartment in downtown Vancouver, like Cole Harbour. And suddenly and indiscriminately, a slow-moving drone glides across the water around 30th floor level and hits a singular apartment. This has happened twice in the past 2 days. Someone I know very well actually saw one of these Shahed drones fly through his neighborhood at about 25 meters in the air. And we heard a few minutes later that it did strike an area close by, but did not explode. And this is new. Yesterday, Iran said that they were going to start targeting US banks and companies like Microsoft, Nvidia, IBM, Google. There has been no reports yet, but there is a work from home order from many companies. I should mention that that work from home order has been from a lot of companies, not just those ones. So most people are working from home. So how is it that we still feel extremely safe? I can tell you it's because we understand that the mathematical probability of being hurt is still very, very low. And it's also worth mentioning that there are over 200 nationalities in this country. You have to understand that your average Canadian or Brit has never seen or experienced conflict like this. Most of you watching this video from home will have never experienced conflict like this. However, most of the people that do live here have experienced it, or at the very least, have a much higher level of risk in their home country. My Lebanese friends are laughing at us when we say that we're nervous. Now, I do understand how weird this must sound to you. And don't get me wrong, we are anxious, we are nervous, but we are not feeling like we're in danger. And it may be all relative. Because there is very little crime here, we have very strict laws that are actually enforced. We have a lower risk exposure in general. So when a blip like this happens, it's relative to how we feel the rest of the time. Now, there are a few people leaving. They're calling it an early summer holiday. Some people have multiple houses. They're just going to their other house. So far, my circle of friends is staying. And we don't judge people who want to leave. If they want to leave, that's up to them. That's fine. And it makes a lot of sense for some people. It makes a lot of sense. We have a running business here. We can't just up and go. We've got people to take care of. If I had the ability to, if I had nothing going on here right now, I would take off and go on vacation for a month just to get past this point. We are seeing videos of people landing in the UK from here, being interviewed in the airport, and they are being interviewed like they've just escaped the first Gulf War. I have to admit, it is a bit laughable for us. And we know it's about perspective, and that these people may have actually perceived things differently than what we are. But I have to explain for those of you that are outside our bubble that the UK media has a really strange hate on for the UAE. I'll do a whole video on that later maybe, but they really despise their citizenry that have left their country and come to the UAE. There's vitriol spat at these people constantly, and it is constant negative about the news. And there's a few people that try to point out about how rigid and difficult it is to live here, and you're right on the edge of law, and there's just police roaming around trying to arrest you at every moment. This is what they propagate. This is what they put out there. Nothing could be further from the truth, actually. But yeah, UK media hates the UAE. All right, so yesterday, Iran has targeted major oil refineries in Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, and Oman, and with some success. I don't need to get into the details. It's in the news. You will see it. I don't need to tell you that this has a huge impact on the global economy. But more importantly to us right now, also on the local morale. Last night, a storage facility in Salalah, Oman was hit, the neighboring country. And to put this into context, this is one of our favorite vacation spots. It's a beautiful area filled with beautiful, peaceful people. And this is all a bit surprising to us because it has been Oman that has been leading the negotiations. And in fact, I'm also going to say that Iran has said that the attack in Salalah was not them. I'm not commenting on that. I'm just saying what I'm reading in the news and what they are releasing as their statement. One of the things that has changed is we are seeing less video and photos being posted live to social media. Now, I know this may sound strange, but this is actually very positive. I touched on this in my first video, but the government is actively trying to educate people about the risk that posting videos and photos has on the country's defense capabilities. They are also reiterating that there are significant fines and possible jail time for people who post photos, video, or false information. Now, some people are going to say, well, this is censorship and they're trying to control the narrative and they're trying to make sure that no negative story goes out. The media is having a field day with this. Censorship, censorship. Let me explain this. People that are near something that happens, for example, a drone strike on a hotel, an oil refinery, or a building, if they record that incident and immediately post it to social media, which is what everybody does, yes, they get the notoriety for being the first to post. The citizen journalist that captured the moment. And then from there it gets shared. And they get to be the star of the show. But they need to understand that there are entire teams of people working for many government agencies that are dedicated to three things. Turn that post into misinformation. Amplify the post to spread fear. And most damaging, the most dangerous, is using that post to verify the accuracy of their weapons. A video of a drone missing a target that is posted on social media as soon as it happens is helping the drone operators get better aim. Now, I realize that regular people who have never been exposed to information warfare or warfare in general do not, and for good reason, understand the power of that simple media post. I'll give you an example on a bigger scale. Planet Labs is a commercially available global satellite imaging service. They can send you a high-resolution image of any location on Earth at a cost in a couple hours, sometimes even in a couple of minutes. We used to use this for emergency services for major incidents. Governments use it, agencies use it. This is military-grade, high-resolution images available sometimes in minutes. And anyone can request and buy these images because it has legit reasons. Maybe you want to survey your farm. Maybe a property developer wants to survey a piece of property. Now, this may sound crazy, but this has been the case for 25 years. This service has been out there. So this service, to counteract the potential misuse of these images, they put a 96-hour delay on all images out of the Middle East. They do the same in every zone where there's a conflict breaking out. And now, just to add an extra level of safety, they've upped that delay to 14 days. This is to protect the people on the ground from that level of intelligence. Commercial services are controllable. They have ethics to abide by. But in contrast, Dumb people with egos, high resolution cameras in their hand, on the ground where there's something happening, and instant uploadability to millions of people are free. And they are very eager to stand out as special. The amount of education that is needed to overcome ego is insurmountable. This type of instant information on social media is fantastic during a natural disaster, a major public incident where you want people to know what's happening on the ground minute to minute, riots, things like this. But during a war, people do not understand the ramifications their simple posts can have. This isn't censorship, this is protection. And the other thing that we're seeing, and just as scary, it's really worth touching on, is that this is the first war where artificial intelligence has been available to anyone and everyone virtually for free. The sheer amount of misinformation and the realism of AI-produced videos that are being published is mind-blowing. To the point of where when Richard and I, in our morning meeting, talk about posts that we've seen or videos that have been on the news, we question its authenticity every single time because it's that good. So you have to ask, where's the fake videos coming from? Why are people spreading them? I would say they fall into two categories. A, because using AI is fun, it's cheap, it's easy. They want to make their content seen. They're just producing. They don't know it has ramifications. And two, there are organizations that are spreading misinformation, confusion, and fear. I'll give you an example that affects me. So the Amazon Web Services data center here in the UAE was damaged a few days ago. And this has a direct impact on my business, my customers, and I have a duty to inform them of how this will affect them in the short term and the long term. And I simply wanted to get a picture of the data center and possibly some of the damage to send out to show how serious it is. It's now been a few days, it's safe to do that. I can't find one photo, not one real photo. All that I see are fake AI-generated photos. And they're generated not to educate or inform, but they're produced so that people click to read stories. These are thumbnail generations. And there are so many of them, thousands in fact, that I can't find a real photo. This is crazy. This is nuts. We have truly entered a dangerous stage of artificial intelligence. Right now, this second, for a couple cents worth of AI credits, I can ask our AI agent, we have several that we work with, to do research and based on live statistics, create for me a thumbnail, which is a photo, that will get me the most clicks for this video. Here's what it produced. So I want to focus on the parents and the grandparents that did not grow up with tech. You've never been exposed to this level of fakery before. It used to take a lot of skill, a degree, and a lot of money, millions of dollars, to produce viable fake photos and video. Now, a 10-year-old can do it for free on their iPad. And it looks so real that you nor I may necessarily be able to tell the difference. So be super careful with what you see and what you share. Remember, when you're reading something online, especially Facebook, ask why it's been written. What is their motivation? What is their audience? Who is it that they want to read it and what are they getting from it? Because I keep on pushing. Get that media education. Understand that there are other people doing bad things trying to misinform. Media intelligence, media literacy. These are important things to teach each other. Do not spread rumors. Do not spread articles that you think are real that aren't from a proper source. And yes, the proper sources are lying as well. We know this. We know that there is misinformation being spread by Western media. The UK, for example, is constantly using pictures of, they'll use a headline, as I said in the other video, they'll use a headline that says Dubai in flames, and it'll be a photo of Bahrain or a major photo from Saudi Arabia. There's no law that says that the headline has to match the photo, and they're not held accountable. It's up for an hour and then they take it down. So please, just be aware that there's a lot of misinformation out there. Educate yourselves. For real. So that is my update from Dubai for March 12, 2026. We are hoping that tomorrow we get some good news, that the conflict de-escalates, and that we can return to normal life. It's all we want. I have been asked a couple times if someone can share this video or my videos. And by all means, if you feel that it has some value to someone and they can learn about what is happening here without the media spin, please share away. Thank you all so much. Everybody's checking in. People from my past are dropping me notes and asking how we are. Thank you so much. It's very difficult to get out to everybody, but I'll answer when I can. I'm going to try and get another update out tomorrow until this thing ends. So thanks again. Signing off. Bye.